we kind of start from the beginning, what motivated you to seek out a project management career path?
I guess it was something after university where I wasn't really too sure on what I wanted to do, and I think it was the people closest to me helping me realize that the skills that I have would be really good in a career in project management, kind of being able to communicate with people, work well in teams, have something different to do every day. You know, those kind of things really appealed to me, and being told that from kind of close friends and family where I was doing a completely different course for my whole life, doing something like engineering my whole life throughout university, and then realizing that I have these skills that I can go into project management definitely gave me that motivation and a bit of direction, which I didn't really have before. And definitely that phone call that I had with you at the start, you know, kind of telling you my experiences and you helping me realizing my skills, that I could fit into the project management world and be quite successful in there, was a big motivator for me.
What was it that you enjoyed most about your experience studying with us?
I think definitely the fact that it wasn't just right, here's your materials, go and learn it. When you're ready to sit the exam, let us know, we'll book it in for you. And you say it was so much more than that. It was that constant communication with yourself, with Fred, with Francesca, who was a huge help as well. I have to give, you know, a lot of, be really grateful for her as well. Those kind of weekly meetings where, you know, we'd sit, it was an hour of my day that was so useful, where I'd send over my CV, she'd look through it, we'd go through it together, and it wasn't just do this and this. It was like, okay, so, you know, this is a bit weak here, it's a bit strong here, you work on this, and kind of improving myself professionally, definitely. I think before and after joining you guys, the way I would talk in interviews and how I would articulate myself definitely changed, and that was just because I was sat with Francesca doing mock interviews and building my LinkedIn profile, something that I didn't even think of having before joining you guys. And then now it's, you know, it's quite weird, I'm not just on Twitter and on Instagram and whatever, I'm on LinkedIn now just scrolling, and it's, you know, it's interesting. I would have never done that before. So I'd say I definitely enjoyed the fact that it wasn't just a learning material kind of thing. There was so much more around that. It's building yourself up professionally, getting that professional brand for yourself, getting your name out there, building connections with people, you know, who are halfway across the world, but, you know, can help you develop your career. So not kind of having that one-dimensional just content and exam throughout my entire journey. You know, I always had that constant support, whether it was yourself or Fred or Francesca. You know, there was always some form of support there. If I ever needed to reach out, I knew that someone would be there on the other end to kind of talk me through it, or if I was struggling with something. And it just kind of made the whole process so easy. It didn't really feel like I was studying for something new. You know, I was just doing it when I had some time, putting the time in to revise or go through the content. And even after the exam, you know, the constant support, and it just felt like having conversations on how to better myself and develop myself, really. So yeah, no, I'll definitely vouch for that. If you're driven and you want to be successful, you know, everything else is there for you.
So what is it that you're doing now then? Tell us about your new role.
So I'm working currently as a project coordinator. So it's a junior role, you know, I've just started out, I've just entered into the world of project management, and it's kind of, I'm working on a day-to-day basis with project managers in my team, with project specialists, and I'm playing a bit of a support role. So I'm sitting in on a lot of meetings with stakeholders, you know, kind of learning the project world with these people that have been in there for years and have delivered so many projects. And I'm in that kind of supporting role where I'm helping with the documentation, helping with the communication with different teams, and I'm looking hopefully to soon move up to actually become junior project manager within the team. And you know, that'll only come with more development, more improvement, and kind of getting the basics there, which I feel like I'm really doing at the moment.
You know, 6-7 months ago, you didn't really know where you were going to be, and things can change very quickly. And you know, now you're kind of planning for the rest of your career, you know, rather than thinking about what do I want to do, which I think is fantastic.
Yeah, and I think what's really important with that is it doesn't really end now that I've got my foot in the door somewhere and I've started my career, because, you know, even for moving up roles or moving to a different sector or into a different company completely, whatever you want to do, you know, that support is still there, even after you're done with your qualifications and kind of getting into that new role. That advice, that help is still there from everybody, and I think that's very, very useful, because you never know when you're going to need it again. You might be stuck again, or you might be wanting to move somewhere or have that conversation about moving up roles, and to be able to know that you can always come back and get that advice you need, you know, is really reassuring, because it doesn't just end with you getting your qualifications. And I think that's what kind of stands out a lot with the learning people, is having that kind of lifelong support there, which is huge.